What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the Thompson Model Shop, and today's video is brought to you by fanhome.com because this is where I bought the model from currently, since the Eagle Moss half is pretty much all gone. So here today, folks, is issue 3 with Build the Ghostbusters Ecto-1. With this issue today, we're going to be focusing on a few things. There is a lot to do. I'm just letting you know, there is a lot to do. Alright, so here it is. You have stages 3, stage 4. Alright, then we got 5 and 6. So we have 4 stages to go through. What we're going to do is we're probably going to shrink this down because I think this might take a little longer. So what I'll do is I'll describe what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to screw the pieces together, and then I'm going to show you the finished product. So that way we're not sitting here watching me hammering out a few things. Now if I have difficulties along the way, I will put that out in the video. So that way you're not left out in the dark on anything. And of course, you can always leave comments in below if you have any questions or anything on how I did it, or if I ran into the same issues. I'd be more than happy to respond back to them. So as of course, with this magazine, it will come out and give you all the stages and tell you how to build it all, put it all together. So first stage we're going to work on will be stage 3, where we're going to do all this. Alright, then we're going to do this. As you can see, we will be picking up where we left off with the grill, and we're going to be adding some more items to it. Okay, this is how it will look in the end. As you can see here, it'll look like that in the end. And then we got a tire, so we're going to be able to put the tire together. So as you can see, it tells you how to do it real quick, so I'm not going to be leaving you out in the dark too much. Okay, and then of course we're going to be going in to stage 5, and it looks like we're going to be working on the transfer case, so, or the transmission case, however, you know, I'm not an auto mechanic, but I you know, this looks to me, you know, kind of like that. So basically it seems like they're going to have us starting with the engine first and then building the car after that, I'm assuming. So, but this is just me assuming, so, you know, just be careful. All right, so we're going to have all these different stages that we're going to do. We're going to put all these pieces together, and it looks like we're even going to start putting the engine pieces as well within stage 6. And then once we're done and stage 6 is all built, it's going to look just like this down here in the bottom. So that's not too bad, right? That doesn't look too bad. All right, now it doesn't show you the color in here, but once I get the parts out, you'll see the color of the engine is not what you see here, but same thing with everything else, all right, that we've seen so far in the last issue. And of course, you know, we'll go through and show you all the other stuff, but I'm gonna leave all that out for now and just focus on the very last page, with also the disclaimer there that the HeroCollector.com thing, the yeah, that one, like totally bumbled up on that one, but that's fine. You guys all know. You can check it out if you'd like. I don't even know if that site works. I still haven't even bothered to look. On the next issue, as it shows here, it shows for issue 4 and how the cover is going to look, you know, and basically all the parts that we're going to get. It looks like we will be getting some more, maybe engine parts. That's just my guess. Maybe something else. I'm not quite sure, but there's going to be 4 stages in that one as well. So we'll probably have to learn how to shrink that one down. But as far as today goes, here's what we have on our plate for today. So without further ado, let's get this magazine out the way here, and let's get back and crack on this bench here and start putting all these pieces together. Alright, so here we are back on the bench. I have all the pieces, they're chrome. Alright, this is everything that we got. We have the screws, all the lights and everything. And I'll say this is a lighter version. I also have the grill back up on display here, because I'm having a funny feeling that we will eventually have to attach this to the bottom half of this grill. So without further ado, let's get it cracking on this. So I think since there's only a little bit to do here and it's only a couple screws, I'm gonna let you watch me how I do this, because it looks like this is where that Ecto-1 license plate is gonna go. So I'm gonna pull that out from our previous package here, okay, and bring that out just so you can have that there. All right, because it says the first thing that we're going to do is use some BM screws. So I'm going to open up some BM screws here. All right, and when I open up these screws, we're going to put the plate on. Okay. All right, looks like there's going to be a couple spares out of this, so I'm going to put 2 in there, put 2 on the ground, and then we're going to put 1 more back in there. And we're going to leave it off here to the side, just in case we have to come back to that. So as it shows here in the video, in the book, we're going to put the plate down. Okay, I mean, it locks right into place. That's real nice. It locks right into place there, so you don't even have to like hold it, I guess. Yeah, you don't even have to hold it. All right, so let's grab 1 screw here. I'm gonna put that on there, and then I'm just gonna screw it down. Wow, this is going in nice and smooth, nice and smooth. Ah, nice. All right. Okay, so we're gonna grab another screw here, line it right up, and then we're just gonna start screwing it in. Right, look at that. And there it goes. Okay, and voila, the Ecto-1 license plate is in there, nice and solid, and screwed in nice and easy. That's real nice. It's real nice. And then the light, kind of see it. It really does bling, so that's really nice. All right, so now we're gonna put that off to the side here. Okay. Once again, you are going to get finger smudges on the chrome. Later on, you'll have to come back, you know, wipe them off. Little microfiber should work great if you got like a little microfiber cloth. All right, so now I'm going to work with this piece, it seems. All right, actually, it looks like we're going to be working on this side. So I'm going to use this one as an example because it shows this one for number 2, and then it shows that I got to put in the little eyepiece thing looking, the lenses. It says I got to put the lenses in, so I'm gonna clip these into place. I guess they clip into place, so we're just gonna see if I can get that in there. Oh, almost. Zip tuck. Alright, there we go. Yeah. Looks, oh, it's upside down. Alright, so apparently there is a way that it goes in there. We're just gonna put it in the right way. Alright, so that's getting on my nerves. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna pull out a little tweezer set here. Which is totally weird that they're not in here. Okay. is, it's strange, but that's how it's supposed to go. Okay. All right. So, all right. So that's that. And then it looks like we're going to be taking L1 and it goes on one side. Alright, so which this is weird because in the show, or in the movie I should say, in the movie the fog lights light up. So I don't know why this is like this, but I thought that the fog lights were going to light up with this kit. Maybe I was wrong in the beginning. So we're just going to take L2. Oh, wait a minute. I grabbed the wrong one. I wonder why. Here's L1. So we're going to put L1 in its place. Okay. So with L1 in its place, and then we have to have AP screws. Which ones are those? That's these. Outstanding. So open up this. We're going to pull out 2. Actually, we're going to pull out 4 because we need 4. There's number 4. Alright, and then we're going to put that over here to the side. Alright. I'm going to take this AP screw and we're going to put it into this one. Take another AP screw, put it on the other side. Well, so much for my plan of cutting out some of these, zipping into some of these screws. But that's okay. That's okay. So, take this down, nice and snug, because you know, you don't want anything too loose when it comes to this stuff, because if it's too loose, it'll start rattling when you put everything together. And nobody wants to hear a rattling, noisy car. You know. Okay, so that looks pretty good, and that looks okay. I'm impressed with it. It looks like it works, but I don't know. I could have swore. If we look back here at the beginning, I could have swore they were saying that it was going to light up. Because on here, they're showing 4 lights all lit up. So I don't know how this works or how that's going to work. Because I don't know. I'm not sure on that, so now I'm a little shocked. It said it was supposed to have working lights there, but I'm not seeing anything for these fog lights. So we're gonna just play it by ear here. Okay. So now we're gonna take L2, put that in there. All right. And since we've already done this one, I'm not going to show you to save time on this video, because there's so much, I'm not going to show you how I do the other side, because I think it's pretty obvious. I'm going to have probably the same problem as this. So so what we're going to do is I'm just going to put this one together, and then the other one I'll put it together behind the camera, and then I'll come back to you when we start with the finished product. And then after that, we'll end up going to the next phase, which I believe will be stage 4. So, yeah. So there's that. There's probably some kind of light or something that's gonna kind of fluoresce into that. But here's how the end result looks. Okay. So it does look like there's a light bulb in there, but I don't think it's gonna light up, because when you look on the inside, there's no holes for it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave that the way it is. I'm gonna take care of all the stuff that's over here off camera, and then I'll come back to you and show you both of them done, and then we'll move on to the next phase. Okay, so both these are done, and both items on here are put together. So basically the next phase is it's saying that we have to take all 3 of these and then connect them as one. That's only going to require 2 DP screws, and basically we're just going to screw these in and they'll go together. So basically just all these pieces will go together with 2 DP screws. Then after that, they want us to basically take the bottom half and attach it to the upper half of our grill assembly. So let's get it cracking on that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that everything is lined up correctly and that everything is there. So what it's showing here is that I'm going to put it the way it is in the magazine. Okay, so I don't get this messed up. Okay, I have my 2 DP screws all set up, and then I put over here in the upper left the 3 screws for the upper half. I will no longer need this, so now I can put this in my little trash bin and move on to other projects. Alright, so let's start with the first DP screw. Alright, I'll let you watch this because this one seems like it's only going to take a couple minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set the screw up and line it right up. So all I have to do is get in there and start screwing it on. Can't wait till this mat gets in here, because once my mat gets in here, I'll have all the space I need to put this together and without any issues. Seems to be a slight gap in this here, but I think that's just the way it is. I think that's just the way it's supposed to be. Alright, so we're going to put the other side together. just kind of bothers me that my fingerprints are going to be on these, but I have some microfiber cloth nearby, and I can easily just put all of that on there. There we go. Alright, and so that's together. So these two pieces are together, okay? They're a little flimsy, but I think that's just because of the way we're going to be putting it onto this. Alright, so let's get cracking on this, and we're going to line all this up because we need 3 of those DP screws to fit nice and even with everything. So, alright, so there's that. There's that. Okay. Wow. Okay, this is real interesting here. Okay. So that's how that goes. So we're gonna do something here. We're just gonna set it up with the middle one first, I think. Just gonna put it in just a little bit, not all the way. Just enough to kind of help us out a little bit. I'd say maybe five turns with your screwdriver. You don't want it all the way on because we still have 2 other screws to line up. And then we'll go back and tighten them once we have all of them kind of put on nice and snug. Alright, so now I'm going to go over to this side, and then I'm going to tighten this one once I finish. Once I get the screw started, I'm just going to tighten it up because it'll be all lined up correctly. Now, of course, before I attach this grill to the car or whatever, I am going to wipe it down and get these fingerprints off, because that's the last thing I want to see is fingerprints on this chrome front end. Alright, and there it is, all set up, all done, and that doesn't look too bad. Alright, that doesn't look too bad. I'm kind of impressed with it. There's still that little bit of gap in that bumper, but that's okay. But I'm going to take my microfiber cloth that I have here that I'm using. I'm going to come by after I'm done here and the video is over. I'm going to wipe it all down and get rid of all the smudge that we put on here. But for now, that is it for stage 3. So what we'll do now is we're going to start working on stage 4. So we'll be back here in a second with all the parts for stage 4. Alright, welcome to stage 4. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put this tire together, and we're going to do it on top of the mat. Okay, there's a few small pieces, it seems. So I brought back the tweezers or pliers, however you guys want to call them. I just call them tweezers. Alright, and since we're going to be doing some screwdriving, I brought back the screwdriver so we can knock that out. Once again, these hubcaps have chrome on them, so I'm going to be a little careful with it so that way we don't have finger smudges over our very first tire. But of course, like anything, when you do something for the first time, you're going to get the bugs out and work through the kinks. But for now, all the stuff that we need to do is pretty much listed right here onto the magazine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow everything here on the magazine. Once everything is put together, we will basically have a full tire. since I know that we have 3 more tires after this for this video, and pretty much we're just going to show you how you put the tires together, so that way when we get further on in this project, we don't have to show you again how to put on and put together the tire, because you can just go back and, you know, basically watch that video again for stage 4. You can come back to this one, or if you've already bought this at home, then obviously you'll have the magazine. It'll help you out. But without further ado, let's get it cracking on this. Alright. Okay, so we have the tire, and boy, does these pieces have some weight to them. I'm even impressed, man. They even have the little spigot there so you can put air in the tire, just like the real one. So that's pretty cool. And then of course we have this chrome piece, and that's pretty cool. And then I'm actually kind of shocked at how detailed the little this thing is. I don't think you guys can see it in here, so I'm just gonna tell you, it's very well detailed. Maybe it's gonna come up. We'll see if we can get it to focus in on you. I feel like a comedy video here, you know. Focus. And it's about as good as we're gonna get. But it's kind of cool. It's got a Cadillac logo. Alright. And so what we're gonna do is, first we have this tire, which has some weight to it. I mean, it's got a little weight to it. And it's pretty sturdy. And it's obviously, you can stand up on its own, which is kind of cool. All right, but this is thick. I mean, wow. I mean, you can't bend it or nothing, but it is solid. It's got the name Firestone on the white walls. It's on both sides. They're both equally detailed, so you can pick whatever side you want. So it doesn't really matter. So what we're gonna do is, it says here the first thing that you need to put in is this piece. So we're gonna slide this piece in. All right, should just pop right in. All right. So, all right, look at that, popped right in, nice and easy. Oh, you don't want to pop too hard, I guess, because there we go. That looks good. Okay, and then after that, you kind of just have to go in, line up these 2 holes for the tire. I have to say that doing it for this tire compared to when I did it for my Willie's Jeep, it was a little bit more difficult than this. So I'm actually impressed with this. That's pretty nifty. So we're gonna lay that down. So I'm not gonna put the chrome piece on yet. Okay, so what's going to happen is, we're then going to take our CM screws, okay, that came in the package here. Okay, we're going to put those on the table here. We obviously won't need this anymore because everything is right here, so we're going to just put that away. Okay, so first things first, we know that 3 of the screws has to go in here, so I'm gonna line it up. Kind of have to apply a little bit of pressure, it seems, because oh, here we go. Okay, so there's that. What we're going to do is something that I learned on the last Jeep, because it looks like we might actually have the same problem. Because you got to line up all this right from the rip. Because if you don't, then you run into a little problem where you can't screw anything in. And this is a time consumer because, you know, you're putting in screws. This is more painstaking than maybe I anticipated. Maybe I gave it a little. Oh, there we go. I got it. Okay, so that's one. And the same thing that we've been doing with all the other screws is we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna do a couple turns because we don't know how far, you know, I mean, these screws are pretty small. So this third one was a bit of an issue when I was able to get it. So now I'm going to go back and start tightening them down. Now obviously these will tighten down and then stop. So you want them nice and snug. Okay? Like I say, you don't want anything loose because of the weight of this car is gonna be pretty wild, is what I've been hearing. So I want to make sure that the foundation of this car is solid and it'll handle the weight without any issues. All right, and wow, look at that. That came out really good. All right, that came out really good. The only thing that I think we have to do is there will be this hubcap and this logo here. It has to stay behind. You're not going to be able to put it on. According to this is where we stop. Is once all this is on, we stop here. And I think that's only because, you know, we have to attach all the tires to all the mechanics that we're going to be putting onto the tire, and then eventually they want you to put this on instead of trying to probably ram a screw down here. So for now we will just have this, you know, just sitting here, and then we'll have the logo there, and I'm gonna store that over here. Okay, we also had one screw left behind. That's a CM screw. We have a couple spare DPs, APs, and DMs, so that's okay. All right, so with all that being done, it means we can move over on to stage 5. So let me get this bench prepped up for stage 5, and I'll see you all in a bit. All right, welcome back to the bench. Here we are on stage 5. Wow, some new packaging here. All right, and it seems like it's gonna stay this way probably for the rest of the build. Okay, so as you can see, they give you a little picture of the car here at the top. Tells you that it's stage 5. You got the little GM logo and then some kind of thing here. So you guys with those, like I don't know, camera fancy stuff or whatever, you want to look at that QR reader, you can go there. I'm not sure what that is. it's just something about GM, then you can verify it, and basically it just verifies the parts that they are actual GM, you know, parts. So that's kind of cool, because on the other 4 there was none of that. We didn't have anything of the sorts with this. I mean, I think on the first box, oh, I take that back. Wow. So even on the other boxes it has that, so you can verify each single part, I guess. And that's kind of interesting. So we'll have to put that in the videos in the future here about this QR reader. I'm gonna look into it, and then on the next issue when it comes out, I'll make a separate video just about these QR reader things. Okay, so because this isn't like the other ones, I'm gonna bring out my little fancy dancy little box cutter here. We're gonna open it up. All right, so we're gonna open up the bag. Wow, look at that. All right, and it comes out really nice. Look at all these. Look at this part right here. That's really cool. Now the screws are gonna be a little loose, but they still come in the little baggies, so that's not too bad. So make sure, like, when you cut this open, you cut it right, so that way you don't drop any screws or anything. But for now, we're gonna take this, just put it off to the side. I don't think we need to keep the little logo up here, because we have the book open. We know we're on stage 5. I think it's kind of redundant. So let's get moving along here. We're gonna take all the parts out. Okay, how does this work now? All right. Okay, so now what do? They childproof this? Here we go. All right. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna unlock it. Okay. And basically, through the time process for this stage, I'm just gonna show you what needs to be done. But I don't know. This might only take a few minutes. I'm not trying to make our videos for this. Not trying to make our videos for this channel really long. I don't want you guys feeling all sleepy. But wow, there's a little bit of dust on that. That's okay. All right, so we have some DM screws. So I'm gonna put them there, and then we got some EM screws. It looks like, or V screws, whatever. EW. I don't know. They probably a typo, but I'm sure it's EM. Because on here it just shows DM, and there's some EM screws. So we're gonna put stage 5 together. So first things first, obviously, is this nice big piece here. Wow, it's made out of metal, and it's got a little bit of weight to it, but not too much. Okay, not really much. I'd say maybe, I don't know, maybe like an ounce for weight, maybe. I mean, it's metal. You know. All right, so we have that piece, and then they want us to have this piece. So we're gonna put that piece down, and then there is this piece. So bring out the tweezers again. I'm gonna put that there. All right, and of course we need 2 DM screws. So we're just gonna do that. DM screws. I'll leave that the way it is. Okay, so 2 DM screws apparently are supposed to go somewhere. So here's figure B and figure A. So we don't need this piece just yet. Apparently, I misread that. Okay, so looking at this, it shows it just like that. Okay. All right. So we have this piece and the 2 screws. So that doesn't show you exactly how it's supposed to go on, but it doesn't look like there's a really, doesn't seem to be like a difference. So I'm just going to get a little bit of this dust off. I'm going to put this piece down, and then I'm going to flip it over so I can put the two screws in. Okay, so that goes quite nicely, it seems. Oh, I moved it. Okay, so there's that. Oh, okay. That's my... Alright, so there's that. Okay, there's that piece. And of course, you don't want to tighten the screws down like I say all the time. You don't want to tighten them down until you get both of them in, because you need the leeway. Once you have the second one in, it kind of goes a little easier. But since you're putting two metal parts together, maybe this is where that oil comes into play. But we're about to find out here. If I don't need to use that oil, it saves me a couple bucks. Okay, it's still a little loose, so go back to the other side. Tighten that side down now. Still got a little bit of play to it. So you just have to go back and forth until you get it nice and snug. Alright, and there it is. Nice and snug. It's not moving. Outstanding. Okay, so now we can bring out this piece. In the meantime, I'll leave that one there. So we're going to bring this piece out. And it looks like this long piece here has got a home inside this thing. So we're going to flip it over. Alright. And we're going to basically just put these two together. So these are pretty easy, or at least this one's easy. It doesn't matter which way you put it in, it's still the same thing. And we need two more DM screws. Two more DM screws. So we're going to put one screw on just to make sure that it's all lined up. Okay. Give it about, 4 turns. 4 good turns. Just enough to screw it in, and then you take the next side and do the same thing. Yeah, there we go. Now that that's in, we're going to tighten them down. I do have to say though, these are going in really easy, which is really nice. I mean, we might get complications in the future, I don't know, but I had a hell of a time doing the Willys Jeep, and it was, the screws were just a pain. So with that being done, alright, so now the next phase, according to this, is saying that we are going to take some EM screws, 3 of them, and then take this piece and attach it to this one. I'm going to get 3 EM screws. Okay. Just 3 EM screws. There we go. Boom. That was easy. And we put this back together, and it says that these two pieces go pretty much together, like so. Alright. That's weird. Oh. It automatically lines up. It's got an actual... Wow, that's cool. If only they had that for the tire when we were doing it, that would have been great. It had a little indent so you can't mess it up. So with this one, we're just going to take the 3 screws. For this one, I'm doing like 3 turns, and then I'm going to go back and then tighten them all down once I have all of them in. That looks good right there, I guess. Alright, since this is the last one, I'm going to tighten it down and start going around and tightening the rest. I'll tell you the way. This is going to come along real nice, it seems. Okay, so now we have that whole piece all set up and ready to go. That's really nice. What do you think? Yeah, looks real good. All right. Sorry for the lighting right now. It's not daylight. It's kind of dark in the office, so I don't have very much sunlight in here right now. But we'll get some later on when we do more videos tomorrow. So that's that for that. And then now we have these 2 pieces, and it looks like this is the oil pan. So with all the pieces out now, we can toss this into the bin. Alright, so what they're asking is we have all these parts, and I guess they're all gonna interconnect somehow. So I'm just gonna do a quick pre-fit. Oh, okay, I see how that works. Alright, so okay. So first things first, okay, we have this piece, and then we have this piece. So what we're going to do is we're going to line them up, just like it shows in the video, or I mean in the book, sorry. And we're going to get another DM screw. We need 1 DM screw, and that's going to be the one we need to connect this one piece. It's interesting because to me most of these screws look the same, so I don't know, maybe between now and the next issue I'm gonna figure out what all this is, because most of these screws do kind of look the same to me. Screws we're gonna get right there, folks. Alright, so this probably have to have a little bit of play. Alright, so now that that's in there, can now focus on the other side here. So the other side, because it's got it kind of upside down. So this side, yeah, see, I don't think it's supposed to be that loose. But yeah, so apparently that's it. So this is what we're going to do. We're just going to put it together. Okay. There's no need to dwell on that. And it says it needs EM screws. So here we go. I'm going to take 2 of those. I'll pop them out. Alright. I don't need that many. So I'm going to pop 2 EM screws out. Okay. And we're going to line them up into here. Since that's in there, a couple turns for that one, and then once I get this one in, I can go all the way. Now, I am sure we're going to come back to this, and we're going to probably have to loosen some of this because there's a little hole here. I don't know what goes in there, but I'm going to assume it's the drive shaft. But we'll see. Could be wrong. Alright. So here's everything all set up just like they said in the video, or in the booklet here. Alright, so the next thing we have to do is we take another EM screw and we're going to put on the oil pan, it looks like. So even though they call this the gearbox, I'm assuming that this is just an oil pan down here. This one here, I don't know. They say it's metal, but it feels plastic. So we're just gonna put the 2 here together. Oh, and look at that. There's only one way to put it on. It's got a little indent here. Just found that out. So we're gonna line that up with that. Look at that. Voila. All right. We take our EM screw and we're gonna screw that in there. And according to the book here, once we screw that in and everything is done, then that is it for this. So there's the old pieces all together. That's not bad. So I don't know, when you build yours, if yours comes out loose, just a little loose between where this connects, I don't know, it could be in the way I put the screw in, I don't know. But it just kind of wiggles a little bit. I'm not happy with that, but I'm sure there's a reason for that. But that's okay. We're going to just move along until we get stuck. And of course, the next phase is stage 6. Stage 6 looks about just as simple. Alright, and I'm going to warn you, stage 6 only has 4 steps in it, so it shouldn't be too bad. So in the meantime, I'm going to put this off to the side, and I'm going to set us up for stage 6. So we'll be back in a few. Alright, so welcome back. This is stage 6. Alright, obviously we still got the same packaging with the QR code on it. Apparently I looked at a few other packages that I have, and they are on every single package. So apparently I'll have to go back and figure out what's on these QR readers, and once I figure that out, I'll let you guys know. But I'm going to save that for 7, 8, and 9 and 10. Yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those stages should be coming in the next issue, and we'll get into that when that issue comes about. But in the meantime, you've already seen these. You know that the screws are going to be in individual packets. They're going to be at the bottom So just when you cut it with your X-Acto or however you decide to open these, just make sure that you don't, cut these, I guess. Because you're going to want to save them until they come out with like a parts box or something, or a screw box, that would be nice. But other than that, let's move on, alright? So we're back here on the bench now, right? So we're going to just put this off to the side, okay? It does show that we have to use this piece first, okay? And it is showing it as we're going to focus on this side where these two pieces are, and then we have to get this black piece here. Alright, I don't know if you can see that with my mat, and then it takes 2 DM screws just to do stage 1. So we're going to pull out some DM screws, looks like 2 of them. This might be finicky because I believe this is plastic going into metal. This doesn't feel very metal-like. So we're going to be extra gentle now with that. Okay. But in the meantime, we're going to do our due diligence here and put it all together. I am like so excited to see how this is all going to pan out in the end, because this is amazing. Alright, so this fits right up in there. Alright, a little bit of light. Like I said, the lighting on this video, it's not all that in a bag of chips, pretty much, because I'm just getting started on all this stuff, and it's nighttime. I like building models, so we're just gonna keep cracking on this and at least give you guys a little something to watch. Hold you over until I get the next issue. Most of these videos I've come to notice they take a lot of effort. So what you get to see for like maybe 30 minutes or an hour, I mean, I'm spending more time working on it behind the scenes, just getting it together so you guys can watch a pretty good video. I'm new to this YouTube video stuff. All the other videos I posted just because I made them and they're funny, and I was super bored. So, but now I'm just gonna build models and videotape me doing it, so that way you guys can enjoy this stuff, I guess. Yeah. So, man, I can't wait till my Mac gets here, because I feel like sometimes I'm going to be breaking some of this stuff. But this is kind of cool putting it together. I mean, other than using glue and plastic and all that, this is pretty fancy stuff, like this. I mean, the detail that they put on this is amazing. So, alright, so now we're going to go to the next piece, which the next piece is this. I have no clue what this is called, but it just says it is the engine block lower part, and affix it to the left engine block using a DM screw. So, yet again, we're going to take another DM screw, and I'm going to put it down here. Okay. There. Okay. So since we got to turn it around, okay, so there's a cluster of screw holes here and then 3 over here. So we're going to put it in one of these. Apparently there is a way to put this on. There's only one way, because it has to line up. That's really cool. Okay. So there's that. We're putting it in there. since there's only one screw, we only have to worry about tightening one screw. Look at that. They're real fancy. Look at that. Okay. And if you get fingerprints on it, don't worry. It comes right out once you rub it off. It is an engine. It's not supposed to be shiny and glossy. But that's okay. Alright, so figure C is showing a 6 delta, which is apparently this tiny little piece over here. Okay. And it's on the same piece, but it goes apparently into the side of this. Now, I don't know if this is going to stay. I had something very similar to this. Yeah, see, it doesn't stay. Oh, I take that back. Maybe it does. Alright, so it's there. I just hope it connects to something, because if not, it's going to be just like the one I did the other vehicle. This thing kept falling off on me. So, but it shows that it goes in there. So we're just gonna see if it locks in, maybe. Oh, well, I'll be cotton picking cool with that. It locks in place. How nice. Wow. Alright. See, it doesn't tell you that in here. It just tells you take 06D into the pinhole on the side of the left engine block. It's saying it's the dipstick. Just push it in, I guess, is what we had to do. So that's cool. And it sticks out on the inside, but that don't matter, because I don't want that to disappear. Because if that's the dipstick, I mean, it ain't connecting to nothing. Alright, so now we have the assemble the cylinder head. So I guess we're going to put this off to the side just a little bit, okay? And we're going to focus on this piece, okay? Then we're going to focus on this piece, and then it's showing that we're going to use this little piece over here, okay? And of course, then we will eventually use this piece, which is kind of made out of plastic, not metal. So, and then once we're done, we'll just toss that away. Real simple stuff, right? So I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, let you guys see a little closer on what's going on here. Alright. So hopefully you can see everything now. Alright. So, as you can see, here's what we're going to do. I have some BP screws left here. I got some AP screws. I still have a few DM screws. Looks like I got 2 there. Alright, so the first things first, okay, we have this piece, which it's flexible, so it's not really made out of metal, but that's okay. Alright, so we have this piece, we have this piece. It's showing that this side is up, and then we have these pieces. Interesting. Oh, it's the other way around, maybe? Yeah. Oh, they go in. Oh, they go in the side. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So I was like, what are you talking about in these pictures? Alright, so once they go inside, then it shows in the pictures here. I don't know why I keep saying video, but it shows in the pictures here that these kind of go in like that, and then you're going to take some AP screws, 3 of them, and put them inside there. So that's cool. You don't even have to see screws. That's kind of fancy, you know. Pretty cool. All right, so let's get it moving on this. You know, we'll see how this goes. So like I said before, and all the other things, and I'm probably like a broken record by now, but you know, you don't want to screw them all in at one time. You know, each of them, you don't want to screw them in tight. That's one thing I learned with the Willys Jeep. So you want to kind of just do a couple turns, you know, just to get it into the socket, get them kind of lined up. And then you're gonna take that last one and you can go all the way in because obviously everything's lined up. Alright. I'm only pinching this a little because of the way this thing looks, but I'm only lightly pinching that because I realize that this is not like metal on metal. It looks like it's plastic on plastic. So, and since we said they were AP and whatnot, so that means plastic, if I remember quite right. As I said in previous videos, I believe the P means plastic. So you don't want to be too tight, but you want them in there snug. And then once you're done, it should look up really, really nice after that. That looks really nice. Okay, so once that's done, now you have everything lined up and it's facing this way. There's this piece which has to go on it, and this one's called the 06G piece, and it says then rest the ignition wire junction 06G. So this is an ignition wire junction, so we're probably going to have some hoses going through here, folks, is what I think. We're probably going to have some hoses going through here. So let's just make sure that we do this right, okay? So with that in mind, we have this junction box, and there is a little cut in it, so you know, like, hey, that's the side that you need it on, so that way your 06G can fit in there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to try this technique first. I'm going to try just this, line it up. Oh, look at that. First try, like a glove. Look at that. Alright, so the only thing we didn't do was line up the BP screws, so we don't have to worry about them. But that's okay, because right now it's saying that you need 4 of them, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them left. So I'm going to open this back up, because I thought we were done with the BP's screws. That's okay. We just need 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright. So obviously that's going to mean a spare, because they give us some spare parts. And I think the reason why is kind of like the same issue I had with my Jeep was I kept breaking the screws, the heads on the screws, and then I had to find a way to get them out to restart everything. So, and since this is plastic, you don't have to do all that other, you know, fancy work where you gotta put a little bit in and then go back around. You can get away with going all the way around and just screwing it in. And then once we finish this, I mean, that'll be it for this video series so far. Because I'm gonna start working on making you guys a couple of better videos than just me talking through the whole thing. It just seems kind of weird, but I mean, unless you don't mind it, you can put that in the comments if you don't mind that. You know, if you don't put any feedback, then they can't make any changes, and then it's one of those like, okay, it's boring, click it forward. You know, just go to that next video, find somebody that's not so boring. But I mean, if I could put some comedy skits in here while you're waiting between each stage, then that'd be cool. But I don't know. Still working on all this. So now we have that whole thing all set up, ready to go, and it's going to get attached to the next piece, which apparently will be this. So we're going to attach this and this together. Okay. This, of course, is asking for AP screws. So it looks like we need 2 AP screws, and then eventually when we get to step 4, that's when we're going to use a DM screw. And I believe that DM screw, if I read this directions right, is it's going to connect our piece to the other piece that we just worked on. So I got 2 AP screws. I have 2 left over. So that seems fine with me. Alright. So we're going to put those off to the side, and then what we're going to do is we're going to line this up to where we need it to be. Alright, so let's see here. So we have that. And then since we have this dipstick here, okay, it's saying that the dipstick is going to go in between the silver piece and this blue piece. I'm not using the names because I want to keep it neutral. I'm not a mechanic, you know what I mean? I don't need to be all fancy in here, but pretty much you have your exhaust pipes and then your piston heads and all that stuff. So what we're going to do is we're just basically creating the engine block. That's all we're doing, to put it simple, okay? So now that we have all these pieces, these two nice, neatly put together, it is asking for us to take 2 AP screws. And these AP screws are going in here and here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of set it up. And we're going to put these screws in. And like I said before, these are kind of like a plastic piece, so you don't really need to worry because it's not plastic on metal, it's metal on plastic. So, so I'm going to kind of set it up and then go from there. And then, came undone. Alright, so here's that. It came in real nice. Nice and snug, because you don't want, like I said, you don't want anything loose, because when you start fitting all the other pieces on, and then you get the car finally done, you don't want any kind of loud noises coming from strange places, like some busted used car or something. Then I do a quick little check, make sure everything's snug, and so far everything's pretty snug. That's really impressive, you know? That's nice. So how fancy is that, right? So we're going to put that down real quick. And now, I remember how I said on step 4 we got this DM screw, right? It's kind of in a tight spot, so I'm glad I'm using my other screwdriver from a different model, because that looks kind of in there. So what we're going to do is oh, I didn't even realize that, but it says Cadillac right at the top. That's kind of cool. Alright, so it's showing that the little transfer here is that way, and then this piece is for this side of the engine. So we're going to put it together. So now this is interesting because it's showing it as connecting this way, but then you have all that down here. So I'm not going to question it, I'm just going to execute it the way they ask. So I got the 2 pieces there, and I get my DM screw, and then I'm going to line it up, and then I'm going to go in and strategically place it just a couple turns. Oh, crap. Guess I didn't get it in all the way. Alright. So, a couple turns. Now that I got it lined up, now I can start drilling it in. Okay, so there's that, all lined up, good to go, all set. So here it is, all set up, good to go. All right, nice and solid, one piece. So you get one side of the engine block kind of going here. That's not bad. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that apparently seems to be it for this. Yeah, that's it. We are all done. So once again, if you didn't see or you forgot from the beginning of the video, I'm going to put this off to the side and put my tools here to the side. And as you know, on the next issue, we're going to have a lot more parts to work with. All right, so looks like we're going to really be working on the engine block again. That's what I'm thinking is what we're going to have to do, and maybe a few other odds and ends might be brought up in that as well. But till then, once again, this is everything that we accomplished today in this episode. So basically, that's it. All right, and I thank you for watching the video all the way through and joining me as I build this model. If you like what you're seeing and you're enjoying it, feel free, hit that like. If you want others to see this as well and you think this might help them out, hit the share. And don't forget, if you want to keep updates with everything that's going on here in the Thompson Model Shop, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. And it'll be greatly appreciated. The more viewers I get, kind of makes this worthwhile. If not, then as you know, all good things, it's got to stop if you're not getting anything. But I think I'm just going to keep doing this until this model is done, because maybe somewhere down the line, once I finish this and someone's interested and maybe wants to buy this from me or something, because I don't have any room in here, or I just don't need it anymore and I got the enjoyment I needed, then we'll talk about that when that comes. But other than that, if you like everything and you're enjoying this, that's great. I appreciate it. Don't forget, again, like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, happy modeling.